Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've done a sit-down video. I've been doing a few vlogs, but today I've decided that I want to just sit down and talk to you. Welcome to my new subscribers, and to those who are joining me for the first time, welcome. We're happy to have you here. Today I'll be talking about some tips for international students who are coming to Canada to study. I know that the fall semester will begin shortly and many of you are getting ready to come to Canada. Yay! And you're excited. But today I just want to provide you with some tips that should help you. I didn't come as an international student. I came as a permanent resident, but shortly after I studied at Fanshawe College. So I went to school. So I have an idea of some of the expectations for international students. So stay tuned. The tips I have are in no particular order. They're just random as they come. I've written them down, so from time to time you may see me glancing. I'm just making sure that I've covered all that I've written down. So my first tip is that when you start school, when you get here and you start school, that first week when you're having introductions and so on, I would encourage you to familiarize yourself with the assignments and look at the rubric. The rubric for the assignments is your best friend. The rubric tells you what the professor will be looking for in the assignment, and if you gear your assignment towards the rubric, then you will manage to get an excellent score. So make the rubric your best friend, and if you can start within that first week when they're doing introductions and so on, if you can start doing some of the assignments, that would be helpful, because what that does is to make sure that you are ahead and that you're not too pressured, because oftentimes all the assignments or most of the assignments are due on Friday by 11:59. I did HR, and there were weeks when I had maybe 9 or 12 assignments that were due within that same week. And so I believe it's important to go within the first week, look at the rubric, and if you feel that you're competent enough to be able to do your research, I would suggest that you start doing your assignments so that you are ahead. You're coming to a brand new country. You don't know anywhere, and chances are you may get lost if you don't know where you're going. So my next tip is to download Google Maps. Google Maps will be your traveling companion. So if you're going on the bus, you can enter the location of your college, and Google Maps, it will show you step by step how to get to your college. It will tell you the number on the bus stop. So each bus stop in Canada, there's a number assigned, and when you put in the address for your college or wherever it is you're going, Google Maps will show you the number for the bus stop where you need to take the bus. So if you're not sure which side of the road to be on, just look at the bus stop and look for that number and make sure it matches the number that's on Google Maps. And it will show you step by step each stop the bus makes. There's an icon that keeps moving along with the bus, so you'll know exactly when to come off. You don't necessarily have to ask the driver, okay, I'm going to this college or wherever, can you tell me where to get off? The Google Map will tell you exactly what to do, what bus number, what time the bus is coming, so you're aware and you're not late for class. Don't forget. The next tip is go and create a LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, stop what you're doing and go and create a LinkedIn profile. Why? LinkedIn is a big deal in Canada. You heard me? A big deal. Make sure that you've updated your skills, because when recruiters are looking, they look at your skills set. So if you have one but you've not looked at it in a while, you need to revisit it and make sure it's up to date. Now I know that you're coming to study and not necessarily to find work, but I guarantee you, whatever funds you're coming with, you need some additional support And so having a LinkedIn profile will help you in your job search to help to maintain you while you study in Canada. Now, since I'm on that note, I'm just reminding you to have a realistic budget when you come to Canada. I know the fees for international students, they're exorbitant, they're expensive. You're paying 2 to 3 times what Canadian and permanent resident students pay. So you have to be very smart with your money and budget wisely. Now, have a realistic budget. I'm going to give you some numbers, and it's just bare minimum just to help you with your budget. So as an international student, you can work for 20 hours. You heard me, 20 hours. Please do not go beyond the 20 hours because then it will have negative implications for your immigration status. So you work 20 hours. If you're coming with your spouse can work, if he's on a work permit, for 40 hours, or if he wants to do overtime, 44 hours. Now, 20 hours, it doesn't give you a lot of money. During the holiday, you can work as long as you want, but while you're studying, it's 20 hours. So realistically speaking, if you're working $20 hours, the minimum wage in Ontario is $14.25. So realistically speaking, looking on my notes, make sure I'm correct, for the first week of 20 hours, you would earn $285, and that's before tax. $285 before tax. For the month, you would earn $1,140 before tax. So let's say out of that $1,140, let's say maybe about $200 or $140 would be taxed, so you would really have $1,000 for the month. That is bare minimum if you're being paid minimum wage, which is $14.25. I'm doing these numbers so you have a realistic expectation of what it is you'll be able to earn, so that you can have a budget in mind before you get here. Now, if you're coming with your spouse and you'll be on work permit, then that would help. That would help greatly. So for example, at bare minimum, at the $14.25, if your spouse is working 40 hours per week, his income or her income would be $570 minimum wage, and per month you would be earning $2,280. That's for 40 hours per week. Now remember, all of this is before tax. So let's say after taking out tax, maybe that's really $2,000. So realistically speaking, if you're just earning minimum wage, and I'm just using that because the threshold can be greater depending on your employer, okay? So at bare minimum, with your spouse's income and your income, realistically speaking, you can make between $3,000 and $3,500. Okay, so I want you to have a realistic budget, because if you come to Canada without a realistic budget, then you're making yourself susceptible to undue stress and all the other challenges that come when you're stressed. So please do yourself a favor and bear these things in mind. Now remember that you'll also have to buy books and other resources that you may need depending on your courses. Whether it's a practical course, you may need practical items to use. So you have to bear those costs in mind as well. You'll have to rent somewhere for your family to live. If you're coming with your family, if you're coming alone, you're still going to have to pay rent. I know a lot of single people share accommodation, but that's not for everyone. Not everybody wants to share. But that's a way that people have saved on costs. But if you're coming with your family, then you'll have to pay rent. So those are things to take into consideration. Now, banks and other corporate organizations, they have a lot of internships in the summer. And I think they're open starting around March, April. around that time of the year, you can start searching on the bank's websites and other corporate organizations, and you can apply for internships so that when you're on your holiday from your studies, you can apply and you can earn additional income. So that would offset your costs. I want to encourage you to find a support group. If you are into church, then the church can be an excellent support group. People are really supportive once they know that you're going to school and you're having any form of challenges. And I'm not saying that everybody who comes will face their challenges, but just in case you do face any form of challenge, then it's good to have that support group. And when you're part of a church or any organization, if you're Muslim, if you go to the mosque, if you're Hindu, you go to the mandir, any form of support group or support system that you need, you find it, and they will help you. They will provide encouragement. Some will provide furniture. You name it. People have had different experiences, so be open. Come with an open mind. And that's really key. When you come to Canada, it's going to be really different from your country that you're coming from. You're going to face culture shock. So you have to come with an open mind. You have to be willing to learn and unlearn and be more accepting. So that's something that you will have to do as an international student coming to Canada. Another tip is to join Facebook groups for your college. When I was studying at Fanshawe, I searched on Facebook for every group that was related to Fanshawe and I joined them. When you join these Facebook groups related to your college or just college in Ontario or whichever province you're going in general, people share resources. Sometimes you cannot afford to buy the textbook and they're sharing PDF versions that you can use to complete your assignments. Sometimes when you're in these groups, they're sharing information that is quite beneficial. So I would encourage you, even before you get here, search for all the groups. If you're going to Centennial, George Brown, Humber, wherever you're going, search for those groups on Facebook. Sometimes they would have Humber Students 2021. Search for those groups. Fanshawe Students 2021, search for them, join them, and make friends, network, and whatever resources that you can get, take it. Take it. Because trust me, every penny that you can save will be worth it. Okay? I also want to encourage students who are coming with their families. If you're coming with your kids, when you are searching for a place to live, you want to be in close proximity to your college and to maybe a shopping mall. But of great importance is the school that your child will attend. So when you're looking at houses, you can enter the address, type in Google, find my school, enter the address, and it will tell you the school that your child will attend, and it will also tell you whether or not the child will be able to access the bus. And this is very important because let's say you have a 13-year-old or 12 years old who is coming with you. That child can be home alone, and if that child can access the bus, then you wouldn't have to worry that, I must be home to ensure that I'm there when my child gets there. If the child is being dropped off by the bus, the child can enter the house and just be there. But if your child is not able to access the bus, then you have to be worried about how to make sure that somebody's there to go and pick up your child. And you really don't want that stress when you're studying, and sometimes based on your timetable and your scheduling, it would be best to make sure that your child is being picked up and dropped off by the bus. So check that when you're searching for somewhere to live. And that's just for people who are coming with children. So I want to share some stores that can help you to save your coins. Yes, save your coins, because as a student, remember I told you about the budget? That is key. So, and I know this is not for everybody because some people are coming with their money, but for those who know that they'll have to pinch the pennies, these are your stores, among others that I may not mention, but these, check them out. So as an international student, you're going to need a few knickknacks or a few things for your home. So Dollarama and Dollar Tree, your best friends. Yes, Dollarama and Dollar Tree. Dollarama, the prices range from $1, sorry, to $4, and you can get quality stuff, quality items in Dollarama. You can get your little bucket, you can get your little mop, you can get your broom, you can get other cleaning supplies, you can get books, folders, you name it, you can get them in Dollarama. Yes, and Dollar Tree as well. Everything in Dollar Tree is $1.25. So go to Dollar Tree, go to Dollarama and pick up your stuff. No shame in your game. You're here to study. You're here to get that education, that degree, and you're here to make the best of your life. So you know what? Forget about what anybody's saying. Focus on what your priority is. What is your priority? To study, to graduate well, graduate with honors. Yeah, I like that. And make a life for yourself and your family in Canada. So if this is where you have to start, going to Dollarama, going to Dollar Tree, go right there and get what you need, because that's where you'll save your coins. Also, Winners, you can get nice, reasonable clothing in Winners and Walmart. So those are stores that I'd encourage you to go to. And for those of you who don't mind going to thrift stores, if you're into thrifting, you can go to Tally's. I know that's a popular thrift store in Canada. And you also have Value Village. That's for those who don't mind thrifting. So those are ways that you can save your coins. And if you have a family, I would suggest that you could shop at Costco, because you can buy in bulk and then your supplies will last a long time. And after you've tried everything with your budget, and if for any reason you're struggling and the funds are low and you have to choose between buying food and other necessities, you can go to the food bank. As international students, you can access the food bank. No, don't come for me. I know food bank is not for everybody, and not everybody is humble enough to say I'll go to the food bank. And I'm not saying that you should, but I'm just saying, in case unforeseen circumstances come, you know it's available to you. Just so you know. Now, those are some of the tips I wanted to share. Oh, another thing is, when you're going to your college, make sure you join as many clubs and societies, get involved when they are having elections for presidents and other roles in the college. Listen, you can't leave your country to come to Canada to study and be timid. So if timidity has been your best friend all your life, as you board that plane, say goodbye to timidity. Yes, say goodbye. God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. You're going to use that sound mind that God has given to you, and you're going to put yourself out there. You're going to speak. You're going to allow yourself to be assertive so that you can be seen, right? And so people can see your capabilities. So join the clubs and societies. Volunteer. Please make it one of your goals to volunteer, so that you can get relevant skills to place on your resume when you're applying for jobs after you're finished with your studies. So if you look on your college notice board, you will see a lot of places that are seeking volunteers. So volunteer as much as possible, not at the expense of your studies, naturally, but volunteer whenever you can. I know when I was doing HR studies at Fanshawe, they had different networking meetings. So people who are experienced in the field would come in and they would sit and talk to current students. So if there are any networking opportunities from your association, for me it was HRPA, Human Resources Professional Association, because I did HR. But maybe you're doing supply chain and you have your supply chain association. You may have your accounting association. Whatever association that there is for your area of study, find it. Wherever they're having networking opportunity, find it. And please Don't go there and just sit down. Go there and talk. Ask questions. Write down the questions beforehand. Things that you want to know. How did you navigate your way into this space? Ask them questions. The fact that they're there to network, they're willing to speak and they're willing to answer your questions. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You've made it this far. You've applied for your visa. You've applied for school. You got accepted. Guess what? Greatness is within you. You heard me. Greatness is within you. So when you come to Canada, after spending so much money, please avoid all distractions. Keep the goal in mind. And I think that's where I'm going to stop for today. When you come to Canada, avoid all distractions. Keep the goal in mind. And I'm not saying not to go anywhere, not to have fun, because there needs to be balance, but at the same time, not at the detriment of your studies or your immigration status. As you make your way to Canada, I wish you good success. May you prosper in all your endeavors, and may this new journey and this new path bring you all that your heart desires. Bye for now. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And if you're watching for the first time, please come back. We'd love to have you here. Bye for now.